Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make bath salt, so everybody can use a good bath salt at the end of the day. I'm going to show y'all how to make a healing bath salt this morning. I really like this one. I've obviously used it all up, so it's really good. It smells so good when it hits the water. Things you need to make bath salts is Epsom salt, sea salt, and baking soda. Any of the oils or herbs that you're going to incorporate into them, and if you want to dye them a special color, you want to get that color made up. That way you know what colors you need to make with what color. So, my recipe is 3 parts Epsom, 2 parts sea salt, and 1 part baking soda. And to do my parts, I just use a shot glass here. I think this is 1.5 ounces. So I just use 3 of these for Epsom, 2 for sea, 1 for baking soda. You want a bowl to mix them in, a dropper for your oils, and a bowl of fresh water to rinse that out so you're not mixing your oils into each other. And a stick or a wooden spoon or something to mix your salts and oils in together. So, however, I prefer wooden. I don't use metal with any of my stuff that I'm making because I feel like wood's more natural and, it just feels better to me. Make sure when you're mixing your salts that you're putting in the intention that you want your salts to work for. So, let's get started. We're going to make a healing bath salt. So I'm going to start with my Epsom salt. We're going to do 3 parts of it. There's 1. 2. 3. There's your Epsom. You want 2 parts sea salt. 1, 2. Then your 1 part baking soda. Okay. You want to mix that up, get everything incorporated. I made lavender bath salts for my family over Christmas and gave it to them, and they loved them. It actually had dried lavender in it, and they all seemed to enjoy it very well. It was for relaxing after a long day. My sister called me. She's like, "Are those weevils or lavender in the salt?" Because one of them touched me and I kind of freaked out. I was like, "No, Heather, those are lavender." So I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, so got that mixed up. The recipe for the healing bath is going to be 2 parts rose oil, 1 part sandalwood oil, 1 part lavender oil, and 2 parts health oil. Now the health oil is something that I made a while back. I have a recipe for it somewhere, or it could have been in one of those kits. I don't know, when you first start out on your path and you're like, ooh, I want to buy all these kits. So I just used a little health oil. It looks like it has rose in it, some rose petals. So I just use it to add some extra. So we're going to start with, make sure you're using essential oils. Fragrance oils can irritate your skin if you have really sensitive skin. So make sure you're using essential oils. Okay, so rose, we're going to do 2 parts. And for me, my parts are 2 drops per part. So 1 part, 1 drop. 2 parts, 2 drops. So And you can use more if you want. It doesn't really matter, just as long as it smells good to you. So, I'm actually going to do 4 because this is a lot. Okay, then rinse it out in your water. Okay, now you want sandalwood. Here's 1 part. And I did 4 drops rose, so I'm going to do 2 drops sandalwood because I'm doubling my drops per part. So, and it is totally at your discretion. 1, 2. Okay, lavender, we're going to do 1 part. Okay. Then health oil, 2 parts. And y'all can make your own health oil, so don't be afraid to get in there and make your own things, because that's what this is all about, is finding your own way to do things. Y'all may not agree with a lot of the ways I do things, but hey, it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. At least y'all can take my ideas and turn them into your own. So that's what this is all about. So we're going to do 2 parts health oil. We're going to do 4 drops because I'm doubling. Okay. Now we're going to mix those oils up. And you want to think about, you know, as you're sitting down and take a bath with these salts, you know, how you want them to make you feel. You have some achy bones or muscles, you want it to penetrate those areas and make them feel better and soothe them. So make sure you're putting that energy into your bath salts. That's why I dye a lot of my bath salts, so I can associate that color with what I'm trying to accomplish. So, it smells really good. And each of these oils that I'm putting into the bath salt has some kind of magical healing property. Or like the lavender, it actually has a natural relaxing property. So all my oils I'm putting in here, I'm not just putting in here because I think they smell good. I'm putting them in here because they have something in accordance with healing or relaxing or spiritual healing, you know, something like that, of that nature. So they're not just oils that I'm putting in here. I'm actually doing it for a reason. So if y'all had any questions about that. Okay, so that's mixed up. And now we're going to color it blue. Here's what it looks like so far. It's just regular white bath salt with oil in it. Alright, and you have your blue food coloring. This food coloring, I haven't had a problem with it coloring the inside of my tub or anything, but when you get done using them, make sure you do rinse out your bathtub with soap or something that cuts oil, because you could slip and fall if you don't wash it out. Because I haven't had a problem with slipping and falling, but just for safety reasons. And the food coloring, like I said, I haven't had a problem with it. I have a white garden tub in there, and I haven't had a problem with it dyeing my tub or anything like that. So, food coloring. Alright. And we're wanting to do it blue, so we're going to just, I don't want to say go crazy with it, but, you know, put enough in there that you can tell it's blue and not like gray. Because I have had problems with it not dyeing a whole lot and it looking kind of ugly. So, and it will clump up on you a little bit, especially with the baking soda. You just break that up with your little stick that you have. And be sure to really think about what you're trying to accomplish as you're mixing this. I think that's one reason I like to use something wooden, is because your energy will flow through the wood better than it would metal or anything like that. So focus your energy through your hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to use my left hand as my power hand. Focus my energy through my hand, through the stick, into the salts. It's no different than how you would use your wand or athame in a ritual. You're doing the same exact thing. And you want that color to be all the way through your salts. you have any clumps, break them up. The sea salt won't dye so much as your Epsom salt does, so you'll have like some white sea salt crystals, which makes it look really cool, especially sitting in a shelf on a bottle on a shelf. So there's the finished bath salt. You can see how it's blue all the way through. That smells so good. Alright, and once you feel like your intention into the salts is done, you can go ahead and just think on it, focus on it, let it kind of settle, because you've mixed it up and you kind of irritated it a little, I guess. So I have this jar. It's just a mason jar. I've labeled it Healing Bath. I labeled when I first made my recipe is how that was the date that I made my first batch. I used to have a different system, but now everything's in my Book of Shadows, so I don't have to sift through everything trying to find my healing bath recipe. But I like to put the date on them still, that way I know, oh wow, I made that so long ago, yay! So, alright. Now, you'll want to carefully put these into your bottle. A funnel would probably work right here. I don't know why I didn't grab mine. Or you can do this. Better yet. Ta-da! Probably won't make such a mess. And as you're pouring it in, you're going to find some places that aren't mixed up. So you just mix them up and they'll get colored. The whole time you're doing this, think of the intention that you want these bath salts to create for you. Healing, if you're making a protection bath salt, you want it to protect you. What other recipes do I have? Purification, I have a purification bath salt. Alright, and then there's the bath salt, and put the lid on it, and I'd say 6 months on these. Your fragrance can lose its smell after a while, but you'll be using them once you make them and start using them. You'll be using them more often than you think you would. I really love my bath salts, and I hope y'all enjoy them too. Thanks. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Blessed be.